Hey guys, I'm Jason Green, the man with the best last name to have on St. Patrick's Day, and I'm here to tell you about The Witch. Ooh. The new horror film by new director Robert Eggers, titled The Witch, is this new, very disturbing, but very unique and kind of refreshing horror film. Now, I pride myself in my love for horror. I read scary stories at night that keep me up. I read, the No Sleep subreddit, the ghost stories like Paranormal Activity subreddit. I watch horror movie after horror movie. I like mainstream ones like Paranormal Activity, except the sequels. I like Conjuring, the Conjuring film. I'm looking forward to the new Conjuring film. I like the first Insidious, and the second Insidious is really good too. I haven't seen 3 yet. I like mainstream horror films and the kind of ones that you don't hear too much about, the ones that are on Netflix. Now, when I saw the preview for The Witch a few months ago when I saw Green Inferno, which you can watch my review for Green Inferno, it was a god-awful movie, but go ahead and watch my review. But when I saw the preview for The Witch at that time, I was intrigued. This was a new-looking horror film, one that I don't remember seeing in a while. It's a period piece, and it just looks disturbing, and that's what The Witch is, disturbing. So, The Witch takes place in Old English, or New England time, I should say. The subtitle, when the title card for the film comes up, says The Witch, a New England horror story. I think it says horror story, but it definitely says the word New England. So it takes place in like the Pilgrim/Puritan era. I can't think of a specific range of years off the top of my head, but yeah, I'm terrible at history. Please. Anyway, so it begins with a family of settlers leaving their town over what seems to be religious beliefs. They leave the gated community and go and settle out in a field to practice their own religion. The father makes it very clear that they're leaving for religious reasons, and these seem like they're a bunch of Puritans. Or maybe, actually, it kind of seems like they're Jehovah's Witnesses, but anyway. So they find a nice spot in the middle of nowhere, build a house, and raise a family. There's obviously some time that passes between when the family settles down and builds their house and their little farm and stuff. But then things start to get weird. Firstly, when the baby goes missing, which leads to one of the most disturbing scenes I think I've probably ever seen in a movie. Now, I know what you're saying, hey Jason, why did you spoil something slightly? I didn't. The part where the baby gets caught is in the goddamn trailer, and it's just as disturbing there too. Where The Witch shines is its lack of jump scares. But that's also where it might polarize some people. Now, I saw it with a group of friends, and half of us loved it, one part of that half being me, and the other half of us didn't like it at all. And I can't really pinpoint why. If you told me the horror movies that you liked, I wouldn't really know if you would like The Witch or not, because I like all sorts of horror movies, and I love The Witch, but it really seems like it's an acquired taste of a horror movie. There are no jump scares, it's just brooding tension, brooding imagery, and just a sense of dread and fear throughout the whole movie. Probably the biggest thing that might turn some people off is the actual dialogue. These people speak in Old English, like ye old dost thou blah blah, which you can see from the trailer, and some of it is hard to understand, but I commend these actors who, even the children, definitely the children actors, who were able to speak this dialogue so eloquently, and I was like, holy crap. It was like watching a 3-year-old recite Shakespeare with no errors at all. So I commend the actors, old and young, on their grasp of this kind of confusing dialogue. I didn't mind it, but I could definitely see some people kind of taking an issue with it, because it is a little hard to understand. But as I was saying a little bit earlier, The Witch really shines in its just sense of dread. Like, at first, you don't really know what's, going to happen to the family. Like, obviously, there's a witch involved, but it really unravels later on. And just the way certain events play out, and just the ending, which, by the way, the ending is just eye-opening. Like, something happens at the end, which you think in the back of your head, that won't happen. Will it happen? And then when it happens, you're like, holy shit, that happened. And the way the movie ends might make some people scratch their heads, but I loved it. Without spoiling anything, The Witch is the most brutally disturbing, dread-filled, coming-of-age movie I had ever seen. And people who already saw it, and if you're watching this review, you'll know what I mean when I say coming of age. So in a nutshell, if you're looking for a movie that will make you think for weeks on end, keep you up at night with just an overwhelming sense of dread, have your eyes glued to the screen for the whole 90 or 120 minutes, The Witch might be the movie for you. And I say might because a lot of people seem to be half and half on this movie. It's a polarizing horror movie, I should say. But I loved it a lot. It was great. Robert Eggers, I hope you make more horror movies. It was tense, it was dark, it was disturbing to look at, there were some jaw-dropping scenes. It really was horror in the sense of the feeling, not the jump scare shock value. It was true horror. And if you're into that, see The Witch right away. Hey guys, thanks again for watching my reviews. Please, please, please follow my podcast on iTunes. It's called Blah Blah Podcast, B-L-A-H Podcast. My friends and I, we go more in-depth on movies that we saw. We also just talk about current entertainment news, and we have a lot of fun too, so you're guaranteed to have a laugh if you're there. You can also follow it on Twitter at BlahBlahPod1, number 1. And you can follow me on Twitter, jaygreen89, Jaygreen 89. And I'm seeing 2 movies this Saturday. I'm seeing 10 Cloverfield Lane and I'm seeing Zootopia. So next week, if I don't have a lot of work on my hands, I will be posting one of those reviews, probably 10 Cloverfield Lane, then Zootopia after that. But anyway, please subscribe to my channel and look forward to those reviews. And thank you again for watching, and go see The Witch.